The idea of reverse agile scaling. And normally, you talk about agile practices. Agile starts with one team, one product, one backlog, but you run into situations um, by necessity that it doesn't exactly look like that. So, Earl, why don't you set up the table for us?
Well, thanks, Mark. One of the things that we see a lot of is people talk about, how do I scale Agile? How do I take Agile from a single team working on a product to two teams, three teams, five teams working on a single product? And we see a lot of ink and a lot of airtime spilled on that. We see methodologies and adaptations geared to that, things like SAFe and Nexus, all the way how we scale up. But another problem that we tend to have, and a lot of people haven't been spilling a lot of ink on, is how do we scale down? That is, how does one team support multiple products? Now you might think, well, Earl, that doesn't happen. Agile says one team, one product. And of course, sometimes we need more effort. What do you mean multiple products, one team? Well, this can happen in a lot of different scenarios. It can happen in the scenario where one client I was working with had a code base, but it was customized for each client. So each client became slightly a different version of the product, and different markets had different product owners. So there was like 4 or 5 product owners representing the 4 or 5 major markets, all with their customized versions of the same code base in a single team, right? And they had to support all that. How do you reverse scale that? Because again, we're violating the one product owner, one team kind of rule. Another one where you might see that is in a maintenance team, where they're trying to maintain several products that are out in the market. There's development teams that might be able to do the one product, one team, but the maintenance team has to cover multiple products because they don't want to invest in multiple maintenance teams. We can talk whether that's a good idea or not later on, but that's where I've seen it too. And I've also seen it in the small shop where they would say, well, we're only 7 developers. Think about your small shop developing plugins for audio things. I've just recently purchased some plugins for Logic Pro, and I bet there's only one team there who's working on 18 different products. And they're supporting these links. They don't need work very often, but occasionally they do need a bug fix, or there's a new enhancement, and they're trying to keep the current ones running while working on something new for the next version of something. So that's where you see it. You end up with this one team with multiple products and sometimes multiple product owners.
I was going to say, I don't think that Scrum particularly assumes that it's one product, right? It assumes it's one product backlog and one product owner. And so the place I think these teams who support a lot of different products or projects is the one I often see this show up in, is that how do you have one product owner who can speak for all of these different stakeholders or users or communities or projects or whatever it is that this one team is dealing with? That tends to be, I think, where the friction tends to arise more. And I mean, fair point to what Earl's saying. There's also a bit of friction in just, okay, I have this one product backlog, but now it's full of 3 things for this product and 10 things for this product, or 8 things for this project and 15 things for this project, right? Prioritization and ordering and not massively task switching the people becomes much more complicated than your world of one product backlog, one product owner, right? That's just more straightforward than these teams who are like, my ecosystem is complicated. What do I do?
And sometimes they're made more complicated by management's decision to matrix teams. Right. We'll see a bunch of component teams. They work their components, sort of have one component, but they report to 15 different projects and 15 different product owners. A little exaggeration. Usually it's more in the 3 to 5 range that they're reporting to. But they're still just one team, and now they're getting prioritization requests for what their little component should do from multiple different sources. And to me, that's a variation of reverse agile scaling, because it's, again, sort of violating the one product backlog.
Right.
Yeah, we do have one product, but our backlog is sort of being managed by multiple product owners who don't ever agree on what the prioritization should be.
So, Jenny, you mentioned the prioritization as one of the